Time. Selfish by nature, and it waits for no one. But tonight, dear listener, we at Penance RPG bring you another tale from the minds of Nikolai Popsky and Artie McNeil. A tale of a village with a hidden secret and a party of heroes racing against the clock. So as we wind up the timer, we bid thee stay a while, for this is one of many variations of our 2019 Halloween story.
Welcome to the Penance Halloween special, this time featuring Do or Dice. So, who are you, where do people know you from, and who are you playing tonight? Starting with Neil.
Hi, I'm Trent. I'm playing Neil Stigtish tonight. He's a thief class, and we're from Do or Dice podcast.
Next we have Joseph.
Hello, my name is Jordan, but tonight I will be playing the Knight Sir Joseph Alistar.
And then we have Gilligan.
Hello, I have 1,000 names, but tonight I'm Gilligan, and he is a magician. A very, very friendly magician.
And finally we have Endolphus.
Hello, I'm Ben, and tonight I'm playing Endolphus Crumpledink, entirely socially maladjusted academic, I guess. Oh, he's a fighter as well, I suppose, of sorts.
Did find it quite funny that an academic fighter.
Yeah.
With 10 in literacy.
I think basically the fighting is, well...
He fights with words.
Yeah, he hasn't quite put it into practice yet, it's all theory. So this will be the first time he puts it to practice.
Fair enough then, fair enough. So that is the players for tonight, and we begin, of course, as we do with any of our Halloween specials, that you have all responded individually to a request for work on the wall of a tavern. And as you're awaiting inside the tavern for your contact to arrive, a sort of middle-aged looking man in a long, relatively filthy leather trench coat and a sort of tricorn hat walks in, and he introduces himself as from the guild, and his name is Christoph Raducan. He tells you, as the work request said, that he's looking for one of his friends and most experienced beast hunters, a man by the name of Wilfred Barsh, who has gone missing. What would you like to know?
The job we signed up for is to hunt a vampire, correct?
The job you've signed up for is to find a vampire hunter who has basically gone missing, or gone AWOL, from being sent down to a small village nearby called Dorahirsk, who is going to find a vampire.
Gotcha. I was confused. I thought we were hunting a vampire, not the vampire hunter.
We're the hunter of the hunters.
Right. So, as far as travel-wise, I guess to start there, where or how far away was the hunter that we're looking for last seen?
He was last seen in the inn in the village of Dorahirsk. This is the location that he went down to after the village council has been sending letters every week for the last 6 months to tell us that they have a vampire.
And we've lost communication with our man.
The last communication you've heard from Wilfred was 3 weeks ago, and he's been gone a month. So for the last 3 weeks they've had no contact with him at all.
Did he mention anything in this last letter that would be useful?
The last letter just said that he was continuing to observe the vampire and observe the best way to kill it, but after that every letter that they've sent down has been returned with not known.
Alright, well he's brown bread then.
Is it possible to see those letters at all?
He says he doesn't have any of them on him. The only things he tells you is that they were covered in spelling mistakes and spelling errors.
That was my initial concern. I wonder if they didn't reply because of the bad grammar and such, rather than the actual content, if you like.
Oh, do you mean the letters that the guild sent down to Wilfred? All they had was his name on it and they were returned unopened.
I see. Well, chaps, doesn't sound like a lot going on here, does there?
No, we'll definitely have a little bit of legwork. But hang on, before we take this job, let's talk about the bangers and mash, eh? What are we getting paid?
He tells you that he will pay each of you 50 gold now and 50 gold on your return, with information on what happened to Beaufort.
Good enough for me.
Neil, you're quite shifty with the money, aren't you?
I can be, yeah.
Is that a good price, do you think, for what we're doing?
Well, I guess it would depend really on if we encounter the thing that was being hunted instead of the hunter first. I mean, I wouldn't risk my life for anything less than 75 gold per person, but...
But I mean, I don't mean any offense, chap, but look at your life. I mean, it's not worth a great deal. Can you give me something a bit more real term? You know, what could I buy with 50 gold?
Well, it just depends on your proclivities, I guess.
For example, a nice glass of wine.
You could buy a nice glass of wine with 50 gold, yes.
Okay, yeah, that sounds lovely then. I'm interested.
That'll be a very nice wine.
Incredibly nice wine.
I mean, I'm accustomed to fairly nice wine. I
Then
just
what
have
are
no
you
idea.
doing in this inn?
What am I doing? Well, I'm writing a book, you see, so I need to get a little bit of hands-on, if you like. Tucker in down on the mush.
I don't know what any of that means. So, I would say for 65 gold now and 75 gold later, you got yourself a deal.
I'm with this chap. He's one of those rough types, you know. He's quite good with money.
Okay. Give me an intelligence roll. See how well forward you put this argument.
6. Ouch.
You put it forward and he kind of looks at you and he goes, 60 now, 60 on return.
I mean, you're doing 60. Might as well just bump up that extra 5 and we'll do 65 now, 65.
I stand up from the table. Enough. If it's money that they want, give them my share. All I ask for is a paper of recommendation that I may return to my knighthood with. You can keep my gold.
He looks at you quite kind of like, okay. And he goes, alright. You can get 60 each and 50 on return, and you can take whatever share of your friend there that he's willing to give you.
Dibs.
Say you're a knight, sir.
I am.
Sort of push my glasses up my nose a little bit whilst I sort of stare up at him on the table. What family are you from? Are they known around these parts?
Our knighthood is not born of bloodlines, but of valor and action.
That doesn't sound very knightly to me.
It sounds like it's gonna get us fucking killed is what it sounds like.
While you travel with the Order of the Boulder, you will be more than safe, I assure you.
Well, it sounds very exciting. The Order of the what now? Boulder?
The Boulder.
Oh, jolly. That sounds fascinating. I'd like to get to know a bit more about this Boulders.
If you watch closely, you may learn a thing or two.
I doubt I'll learn a lot from you, chap, but I will watch closely. It sounds fascinating.
Okay. At this point, he goes, do you know much about the village of Dorohirsk?
Can't say I do.
It's a small village about half a day's travel by coach from here. It was the village that the royal family, God rest their souls, used to visit every summer. They'd stay in the castle. But since the royal family have been dead for the last few years due to that plague, the tourism has been quite abysmal since then. It's now mostly known as a turnip plantation.
When you say plague, I guess it's kind of a little bit out of game for the context. Is that something that was well known or
Yeah,
like
it was very
far
well known
spread?
that the royal family were indeed, they did all die tragically to a plague.
Okay. Was it just like any, your everyday plague, like bubonic or anything, or was there something?
It was just really a
mysterious?
sort of. It started out as the king died, and then about 2 weeks later, his young son and queen also had followed on from the same sort of plague. So it was one of those things that they hoped that it would just be the king that died because he was quite elderly, but his young son fell quite soon as well.
Already.
And there's been no heirs, so since then the region has been ruled by a council.
Are we better off with the council?
Yeah, they seem to be still sorting a lot of diplomacy stuff, but seem to be ticking by. Nothing seems to have changed.
They've replaced the royal family's living quarters with turnip farms, do you say?
The royal family used to live in the castle, And during the summer, they would come and visit the castle, and that used to bring a lot of tourism to Dorohirsk, because the royal family used to always be, quite prominent. But since the royal family have died, there's nothing really about Dorohirsk that's notable. All you really know about it is that it's known quite well for its turnips.
I mean, do you chaps think we should have a mosey and check it out?
I think the best way to get about this is head down and see for ourselves.
I agree, but I would also ask that we have the letters being sent from the town itself to the guild so that we can have some kind of background of what they assume to be a vampire, because I assume that vampires aren't necessarily common thing around here.
It's midsummer, so it's the least likely time you're ever going to get a vampire. He tells you that the letters have been coming, as he said, for 6 months, and they're full of spelling errors and mistakes, and it seems very amateurish. Their only deciding factor that they believe there's a vampire is a strange man appeared, moved into the castle, and ever since then they keep finding animals that have been sanguinated around the area. So like horses and goats and a couple of other things have been found completely sanguinated.
And do we know what race this gentleman is?
He doesn't know any more details about the gentleman that moved in. That's what Wilfred went down to investigate.
Right.
What he does tell you is that Wilfred went down against quite a lot of better judgment from a lot of other people in the guild. A lot of them felt that all the village was after was attempted tourism. I mean, an active beast hunter or vampire hunter in your region can cause a lot of people to show interest. In easy money, let's go and kill a vampire, it's in the castle, we know exactly where it is. It seemed too good to be true for money-wise, so a lot of people in the guild passed over the job.
What does Wilfred look like so we can ask about him?
Wilfred is a early 40s human. He has long, straggly black hair and a stubbly-like beard. He looks like your sort of average beast hunter, long black coat, tricorn hat, that kind of stuff.
I do love a tricorn. Let's get down there and check out Wilfred, shall we? And toss out this squatter. Let's get going. Come on.
He does tell you that you will also know it's Wilfred because Wilfred has quite a large crossbow with him at all times.
Alright. Good enough for me.
Dear knight, sir, Boulder boy.
Yes.
Sounds like this man in the castle might be a chap for you. I'll talk tricorns. You sort out this squatter. Let's go. Come on.
If you must leave the fighting to me, I will do it.
Okay.
I'm going to sort of point to my flail that's just on my belt and sort of go, well, I am a little bit handy, so save some for me.
So at this point, Christoph stands up and he says, is there anything else you'd like to know before I leave?
Are you single?
I'm married to my job.
You interested in an affair?
Not right now.
Alright.
There we go. You see, a man of integrity. That's what I like to see.
You won't be seeing a lot of that, I feel.
I'm afraid, once I stepped out onto this path to earn my spurs, as it were, I realised that I was going to be around a lot of rough people, a lot of people lower standing like yourself. And you don't seem to have much in the way of morals or integrity, I've found so far. You chaps can prove me wrong,
No,
Always somewhere to
that's
start.
fairly accurate. I'm not really all that offended. Can't be offended if it's true.
Like the colour of your jib, son. Anyway, shall we make our way down? We've got half a day's travel. That's quite a long way.
Okay, so he takes his leave, you carry on having a couple more drinks. The next morning you wake up, you bundle inside this coach, and you descend towards Dorohirsk. As the early evening begins to roll in, so it's about 6 in the evening, you rise over the final hill and descend into the hamlet of Dorohirsk. At this point, you see the 6 main locations in Dorohirsk, which is the castle, which is a sort of smallish castle with a quite grand door leading in. It's sort of up the hill to the side. There's the blacksmith stables that you've just pulled into now, where you see a young man working away at an anvil. You see the town hall, which has got quite elaborate architecture on the outside. The inn, which is the only other building with any kind of elaborate architecture. It seems like the inn and the town hall were built very much in the sort of prime of when the royal family were around. There's the town square, which has a single beautiful fountain in the middle of it, which Again, sort of mirrors that same sort of architecture of the inn and the town hall, but has a couple of ramshackle stalls and a couple of like speaking points and stuff like that you'd expect from a town square. And finally, behind the inn itself, you see a massive graveyard with this massive old looming tree leaning over the edge, facing towards the castle. So as you arrive in early evening, your choice for the first time slot is the blacksmith stables, the town hall, or the inn. Where would you like to go?
He was last seen at the inn, right? That should probably be the first place we go to, I would think.
Get information and settle in, so kind of works. Okay, yeah, let's do the inn. That sounds good.
Okay, so are you all happy with the inn?
Yep.
I'm not making decisions on when we go because they'll shout at me.
Okay. So you grab your belongings and make your way down the hill, past the fountain, and walk into the inn. As you walk into the inn, there is a quite large woman working behind the bar. She's got one of those sort of rustic charms, as you would call it, with a sort of big beaming face. It just sort of seems to smile at you as you walk in. Sitting just in front of the bar is a man in relative finery who looks like he's been heavily drinking and is just staring at the barmaid, shooting back drinks like he's trying to get his confidence up to do something. And apart from that, there's a couple of locals sitting around, not doing much else. What do you do?
I want to go have a chat with the chap that's getting blind drunk.
Okay.
I'll go with him.
I'm gonna go procure some rooms as far as talking to the barmaid or the owner of this establishment.
And what's Indolphus doing?
I'm going to go and pull out a chair and sit down next to the couple of people that are just sitting around, and I'm just going to proudly, like loudly say, when in Rome, eh? And just slide up into the table and just sit there and stare at the floor.
Okay. So, as you walk up towards the barmaid, she sort of turns to you and goes, "Hello there. Are you new in town?"
Yes, yeah, me and my companions here.
Alright, that you moving down here, or are you looking to stay for a few nights?
Hopefully just a few nights. We're looking for a friend, and so we'll
Oh,
need to
that's
procure-
nice. Good to have friends, isn't it?
It is.
Do they live down here?
No, he actually went missing.
Oh, that's a shame, that. What do you look
Yep.
like then?
I'll give her the kind of plain description of the gentleman we're looking for, kind of mention the large crossbow, and the fact that he's here to, quote-unquote, hunt a vampire.
Oh, you're not after Bill, are you?
Is Bill the person I described?
Well, he was down here for a while. He's now out there in that tree hunting that vampire. He's not the sort you want to be associating with.
And why is that?
Oh, he's got a terrible temper, as Bill. Don't like anyone. Likes to shout at children.
Well, sometimes you need to yell at a child to get a point across, right?
Well, there is that, I guess, but, he likes to show at everyone. Anyone that says hello to him every morning gets yelled at.
I'm gonna get to, I don't know, like 2 or 3 rooms, and then could you point me in the direction of Bill so that my friends may go and talk to him?
Alright, well, if you want to speak to him, he'll be in the graveyard this evening. He always is, every night. Sits up that tree.
All right,
So-
well, I'll make a note of that. I appreciate your input.
She takes a couple of gold off you, gives you a couple of keys for some rooms, and says, if you're wanting food or anything, just you let me know. I'll get Astrid to make you something.
Yeah, just whatever the special is, we'll be out here on the floor.
Okay. So a couple of minutes later, you're brought food and ale and stuff like that in exchange for a couple of coin. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So the one that's talking to the man in finery, he's just sitting there, like, shaking, staring at the bar, and he just keeps, like, shooting drinks back, and then, like, he sort of stands up and then shakes and sits back down as if he's trying to do something, but he's just too afraid to do it. What do you want to do?
Slide in next to him. All right, easy there, son. If you keep shooting it like that, you won't be any good when you finally get the carriage up.
Who are you? Who are you?
I'm new in town here. I just saw you,
Oh, have you come to speak to the lady as well?
No, son, I've come to help you speak to the lady.
Oh, wait. Who sent you?
No one, as far as I know. I mean, not for this. This was just...
Why are you? He looks like he's panically looking around, like he's trying to look for something.
Relax. I'm just, I don't know, hopeless romantic. I can't help it.
At this point, he sort of stands up and goes, are any of you here to see the lady? And he points at the rest of you that have just walked in.
Afraid not.
We are talking about the barkeep here, yeah?
No, the lady.
Oh, well, what lady are you talking about?
I can't wait any longer. He looks at the barmaid and just goes, I have to know. Alright, well, same as last night. Are you gonna piss yourself this time? No, I have to know. Alright. Let's see your gold then. He takes out a massive bag of gold and he chucks it onto the bar. Barmaid goes, oh, she'll be happy with that. Alright. Bromilda! From the side room, this massive, 8-foot tall Amazonian woman just walks in. She's built like a Goliath, fucking massive. Just walks around the bar and goes, he's not pissed himself this time, and he's actually paid. I have to know. And she just sort of goes, picks him up, puts him over one shoulder, just carries him up the stairs, and you hear the sound of a door slamming. And then the barmaid just puts the gold behind the bar somewhere, and she goes, well, spring is in the air.
I have completely misread this situation. Would you like to give it a try?
What, give her a try?
Sure, if that's what you're into, nothing wrong with that.
No thank you, sir.
Alright. Excuse me, barkeep.
Aye?
What was that?
Oh, that's Bromilda.
Big?
Oh, aye. Big girl, that. But that's what some people are into.
She's not going to crush him, is she?
Oh, no. She's very tidy, apparently.
Okay.
I've heard that some people actually enjoy that. That's what they actually pay for. They pay to be sat on by large women.
Ah.
I've heard it, of course. I've never, just heard it, of course. Just read it somewhere.
Is there a version of an insight check in this?
Awareness. Basically, as far as you can tell, it just seems to be that this massive woman has just been paid to take this guy upstairs.
Alright. Did I get anything off you, Ben? Because I want to know if you were lying.
Oh, I definitely wasn't lying. It's true. I've seen a documentary about it.
Oh, okay, fair enough. What? Anyway.
But I mean, in-game, I definitely wasn't lying. It's true. I've read a book about it.
With your character, I could believe that easily.
He was asking, he had to know something. What was he?
Oh, I'm not really sure what that is, but we've had a lot of men come in, well, a lot of women as well, and ask to see Bromilda, and say they've got to know. I don't know what they're going to know. I mean, one horse as good as another, right?
Could I ask you kind lady, how much does he pay for this service?
Oh, he paid, she sort of looks behind the bar, looks at the bag and goes, oh, he paid about 160 odd gold.
I'm going to turn around and look to Gilligan and say, is that a large sum of money, Gilligan?
Yeah, it's not a small amount, let me say.
Do you think we can afford to pay... Well, hold on 1 second. Lady, how much would you charge if one of us was to perhaps watch this?
Oh, I don't know if she lets people watch. She's very private, is Bromilda.
You don't think it might be something they might allow?
Oh, you'd have to speak to her. Only problem is she's a mute.
Simpleton, I see. Gilligan, sounds like someone you might have more luck with, to be honest.
I don't know whether to be offended or flattered, but yeah, sure, when she comes back.
Oh, she'll be up there a while. She takes a long time, does Bromilda. It's very weird. Back in my day, you'd be up and down there in 5 minutes, but, she takes them up there for at least half an hour.
I see.
And they always come down with that same expression on their face.
I'm thoroughly fascinated by what the hell is going on up there. This sounds like an absolute cracking anecdote for my next book. I would love to get in there.
Well, if you want to get in there, you better pay her.
Yes, money. Do you accept, credit charges here?
What's that, then?
I give you my name and my parents pay you later.
Oh, I don't know if we'd had anything like that. Not since the prince was around.
The prince, what was his name?
Oh, his name was Toby.
No, his family name, good lady.
Oh, his family name. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm getting a bit we've been saying, right? Well, the royal chest, right, it says Genevieve. I assume that's their name. We've never really called them anything. It's always been like a first name. King Tom and all that.
Not sure if the Crumpledinks are very on good terms with the Genevieves or not. Not sure if my credits would be worth much around here.
Well, we don't go and talk no more, because, we had a man do that before. One of my old girls, he came in, he said, I'll pay you later, and then he fucked off. I had to send the boys after him. They came back with one of his legs.
Oh, that sounds absolutely repulsive. You can be absolutely assured that my parents will always settle my debts. I think it's my parents that do it at least.
Yeah, I got that vibe off you.
You slagging off my parents?
His mom's a nice lady. You leave her alone.
More so him than his parents.
Anyway.
I heard a recent rumor that the castle has a new occupant.
Oh, is that bastard vampire?
You speak about him so casually.
Oh, we've all been told by the town council we're not allowed to do anything about it. We have to leave Bill to sort it out.
Are you not afraid?
Well,
that he
we've been
might
told we've
set
been
down-
fine. We've got that water there. She points to this massive barrel that's sitting at the edge of the bar. She goes, "Hi, if he comes in here, I have to throw that at him."
Is it treated with anything, or?
Oh, I don't know. It just got wheeled in by the council. Been told, in case of vampires, splash him with it.
Sounds to me like it might be blessed or some kind. I've seen all about this before, yes. This is classic esoterica.
Well,
Would,
we had a couple of regulars in one night. They drank some of it and were violently ill. No
Would you
wonder it
mind
sends
if I-
vampires away.
Would you mind if I inspected it?
Oh, on you go. That's fine.
I'm just gonna open it and see if it's blessed water with my one religion.
Okay. You completely believe it's blessed.
Right. May I have a small vial of it?
Oh, you help yourself. We got a lot of it around there. We got a lot of it here. There's some in the crown hall, and there's some up the blacksmith and all. You've been told if a vampire comes near, just spray him.
Will do.
There's a very strong smell of plant coming off of it, but you just believe that that's just, divine.
That's the smell of the gods.
Alright, chaps. Well, if there's nothing else you need from me, I may retire to my room. I have some work to do.
Alright, well, if you need anything else, you just let me know.
Will do, thank you.
If you can hear anything as you pass Gilligan, do tell me what you find out.
Absolutely, you'll be the first one I let know. So as I get up into my room, I want to actually try to use my alchemy and presumably my alchemy kit to test this water.
Sure. It's nothing magical at all. It just seems to be water with some sort of plant extract in it.
Okay.
If you have nature, you can work out what kind of plant it is if you want.
I do not have nature, unfortunately. But can I, surmise that's probably what's making people sick?
You can surmise that it's basically just simple water with plant through it. It's got no qualities at all, and you don't really know why it would keep a vampire away, apart from, no one really likes getting sprayed.
Fair enough. Did I pass by that door by chance?
You did, and all you heard when you passed is the sound of scraping.
Well, that's horrifying. Okay.
So, as it's getting into the second time slot, which is nighttime, your choices are to stay in the inn, go visit either the castle or the graveyard. And you notice a couple more villagers coming into the inn at this point.
I would probably say the graveyard, being as the guy we need to talk to is down there.
I very much like the idea of going to that graveyard, yes, but I tell you what else I very much like the idea of, is perhaps borrowing a tankard full of this water.
You can take a tankard of the water if you want.
I would very much like that, lady, yes please. If we could just borrow a tankard, I'll drop it back later and take a scoop of this smelly water.
That's fine then, you take that and be careful with it. Just don't drink it, mind, it'll make you ill.
Oh, thank you very much.
If you see the vampire, just chuck it at it.
I drank some water before once when I was on holiday. It gave me a dicky belly for weeks, I tell you. I don't know what these paupers drink in now. Absolutely incredible toilet. You should have seen it. Absolutely shellacked.
Right.
These people that are coming into the inn, none of them fit the description of the guy we're looking for.
No. Basically, you see what looks like the blacksmith, a sort of older man with, again, sort of mud-covered clothing, And the woman eventually leaves the room with the man that she took up the stairs, and she brought him down the stairs and sits him by the bar, and he's got very like spaced eyes. As she goes outside the back door, and you hear the sound of her chopping wood again.
I think we should also go to the graveyard then.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So you leave your stuff in your rooms, you lock the doors behind you, and you leave and go outside the room, passing the man with the incredibly weird, like saucer-like eyes. As you walk through the town, it's getting close to midnight at this point, and you walk into the graveyard. As soon as you walk into the graveyard itself, you see that there are like plants and crops everywhere. It seems like every single bit of space that could have been used to have like plants growing on it has been used. Like all the graves that you used to being covered, you know, like turned over earth and stuff like that, seem to be covered in a layer of small, almost herbs. And beside each grave seems to be like trellising and like leaves and vines growing up all of them. In the middle of the graveyard, as I said, there's this massive tree, and up the tree seems to be a man who seems to be looking over quite a large crossbow pointed at the castle. What do you do?
Excuse me.
Are you waving at the man in the tree?
Yeah.
You hear,
What is it now, you insufferable idiots?
That's no way to talk to people you've never met before.
he just turns to look at you in the dark, and you see his eyes readjusting, and he goes,
Wait, who are you?
The guild sent us.
What?
Indeed, to check up on presumably you.
What? What do you mean?
Listen, sir, it seems like you're having trouble. Now, if you just pop your finger off of that crossbow for a second and open your ears, the guild up the top there sent us down to find you because they've been sending letters to you, and apparently you've not been reading them. You've just been sending them back.
What? No. You mean Christoph? No, he has not been in touch in weeks.
No, it's you that haven't been in touch for weeks.
What? You mean that fat bitch in the inn has been not telling me when I had mail? Fuck.
I do believe you may have been onto something there. I think this fat bitch that you say might have been perhaps not forwarding on the mail correctly. You have some
she's
people that are
still angry
slightly
at me.
concerned. Why would she be angry at you?
Well, she threw me out of the inn.
Why? What was you doing?
I had a deal with the council, with Jacob. That was meant to be put up with food and board while I was hunting this vampire. But the problem is, she said she spoke to the council and they said no, they had no such deal. She wanted me to pay her through the nose for room. I told her no. She threw me out.
There's an awful lot of politics around here, isn't there, for something so simple?
You don't know the end of it.
I tell you what else I don't understand. You're hunting a vampire that's in that castle and you're just sitting here and you still haven't killed it. What have you been doing all this time?
Don't you start. You see, these villagers, they come up to me and they're like, hey, can you bless my child? And I'm like, I am not a priest. And they're like, oh, but you're a holy man. And I'm not a holy man. But they still believe it. And every time I try and get a shot, they break my concentration. Then I go and look at the castle, and that you can no way get through that door. It is solid. So I seal all the other doors. I only leave one open, and I watch that door, and still these bastard villagers come up and bother me every day. Sick of their constant positivity. It's just sickening.
So what you're saying is that you're a bad hunter?
he sort of wheels his crossbow around towards you and sort of leans over and says,
No. I am a good hunter. I am one of the best. Problem is that these bastard villagers keep getting in my way.
Yeah, people who have to say they're the best at something generally aren't.
Fuck
Neil, I might suggest that this chap, you might treat him a little bit nicer. He's pointing a crossbow at you.
Yeah, if I was afraid of his crossbow, well, he's been here for how long and he hasn't got a good shot, and some villagers keep messing him up.
I do agree that is quite strange, isn't it? I think he might be talking out of his arsehole a little bit. What do you say about this door? Why is it sealed? Why can't you get in? Come on.
You go and have a look yourself at that
Apply
door.
yourself, young man. Apply yourself.
It's solid.
What's wrong with...
To withstand an army.
And have you-
Sits behind that door.
How have you tried
panting.
getting in? What have you tried to open it?
I have tried swords, I have tried spears, I have tried shooting arrows, I have tried breaking it open, I have tried a crowbar. Nothing works.
I mean, have you tried a handle?
It don't have a handle, it's a medieval door.
Did you knock?
Yes, several times, and the hyperventilating just continues.
Hyperventilating. Alright.
Did you try any sort of deception? I mean,
What am I going to do?
Sounds like-
Walk up, go, hello, it's milkmaid.
yes, I mean, that sounds like a better plan than just hitting it with swords.
Bah. I don't like pissing about with this deception malarkey. Not my
So
kind.
you'd rather sit here in a tree all night?
Eventually I will kill him. He's not been out of that castle in a week.
Alright. Eventually, I'll get to it, is the great mindset of a hunter when hunting something that's killing people.
Like it's not killed any people though, that's the problem. No people are dead. Just this fucking village and its fucking stupid fucking council.
Who are these council that you talk of? Who's this Jacob chap?
Jacob is the young man. He works at the council. He's the one that sent the letters to me.
Gilligan, is this the man we're supposed to be finding?
Yes, I believe this man in the tree is.
What do we do when we found him?
That is a very good question.
I have some chains and a padlock if we'd like to spirit him away, as it were.
Feel like there's probably another route we can go.
So out of game a little bit, is it an option just to take him back to the town and then end it there? Do we have to go into the...
You can end the game that quickly if you want. It's entirely up to you.
I mean, job done, right?
Can we kill him? I don't really like him.
Jesus.
You can kill him if you want.
I'm voting kill.
I'm just saying that we were paid to make contact and come back. So there's gold in going back, not undermining the whole project here, but I feel like we would stand out as far as from the rest of the other ones if we just ended it.
Maybe not in a
Yes.
good way, though.
This would not make a good recommendation though for my knighthood, so
Yeah, it's
I'll
true.
have to disagree.
I'm also very curious about the vampire, so I kind of want to talk.
Fine, I guess we'll keep playing.
Sir Knight, when you say about your recommendation, if you were, let's just say as an example, to accidentally slip your fist through his skull, would that necessarily count against you?
If I were to take up arms for no reason against a innocent person, or especially a person I was hired to protect and check in on, I might accidentally find my neck in a noose.
I see. Is this a kind of common thing with these boulders that you speak of?
That we hang murderers? Yes.
Right, I see. Wilbert, chap. Bill.
How many times you've... My name is not Bill.
Well, listen. I'm not really sure what your name is. I'm not really sure I really care what your name is.
Well, fuck you too.
Okay. Did you hear that, Sir Knight? Did you hear the outright, just the language that this pauper uses against me? You do not think that we should just perhaps nudge Flail into the back of his head?
Perhaps you should address him with some etiquette and courtesy.
Damn, I'm gonna have to go get the guard. I just witnessed a murder.
Okay, why don't you try? Go ahead. Do speak to him, the foul-mouthed little thing.
Fine. Sir Hunter,
Yes.
you've mentioned that it hasn't killed any humans, but it's eating livestock, if I understand
It was eating livestock. It just drains the blood from them. It doesn't eat them. It leaves the bodies fully intact. Apart from the
they just-
small bite in its neck.
Were they just cattle and farmers'
Goats,
livestock?
horses, dog. I think there was a cat at one point.
Have you ever found any of these cattle with sort of cored-out rectums by any chance?
What are you talking about?
You know, like cattle mutilations, cored-out rectums.
What? You come from strange countries.
I agree.
I am very much interested in the strange, yes.
He just sort of gives you a really confused look and then just looks back towards Joseph and goes,
What is he?
An idiot. Back to my questions.
I shall pretend I didn't hear that, Sir Knight.
Were Were any of the livestock, were they centered or just scattered randomly throughout?
Look, they were scattered randomly. Ever since I arrived here, they've apparently less and less.
And you're sure he hasn't left the castle by any secret doors?
I blocked off every other door and filled it with molten lead, so it would not open anymore. The only one I can't do is that door.
He points towards the main door of the castle and he goes,
It's a proper medieval door. It is built for withstanding an army. I cannot break through it.
Is it the kind of door that's like on a wall, or is it going directly into the castle?
it's like a solid wooden door with like the sort of metal studs all the way through it, so it's like being heavily reinforced.
Right, but does the door lead into the castle, or does
Yes.
it lead into like a wall around the castle?
It leads into the castle.
Is there a roof?
There is a roof, yes. You see that there's a single chimney that's got like a bit which got light smoke coming out of it.
Oh. What about windows and things like that?
Nope, no windows. They've got a couple of arrow slits, but no windows.
Have you tried climbing?
I got onto the roof once, but the roof's slippery. It's a sheer drop to fall from there. You'll be dead before you hit the ground.
Would anyone like to try?
I think we should perhaps check out this door because, no offense, but I think this man might be a little on the slow side. He says about this door and he has very much trouble with it, but I get the feeling he might have trouble with just about any door. I mean, I wonder how he ties his laces in the morning, to be honest.
Well, I mean, if it's open already? Have you tried to approach the vampire?
I told you I've been up to look at the castle several times. He does not come out if he sees me.
I mean, the door's open. Like, have you went to approach the vampire? Like, to see if he's an actual vampire?
I don't get that close to him, but when I do see him out of the view before he darks back something, he does not look like a vampire. He looks like a very thin man. But I'm paid to kill him, so I'm going to kill him.
I mean,
Well,
fair
that
enough.
would have been some good information to know that you don't believe this is a vampire.
It sounds to me like he's a murderer, and didn't you say you'd like to Sir Knight?
I am paid to kill him. If you want to take it up with the murder or not, it's the town council. It's nothing to do with me. I have been paid, therefore he dies.
He operates under the law.
It's a very loose interpretation of the law, in my opinion.
Well, it seems we could learn some more by either trying to speak to this vampire or speaking to the count.
I find that it's always wise just to approach someone and speak to them mano a mano, if you like. Perhaps we should just go and see this door.
I don't necessarily want to agree with the fop over there, but I kind of agree to go and talk to him, because if he doesn't seem like a vampire, he hasn't killed anybody, probably just a squatter trying to, as they said, promote hype for the city as far as tourism. Let's just go talk to him.
And we're not going to get our rectums cord, so, nothing really bad can happen.
Sure.
You are a strange little person.
Okay,
I'm 7 feet tall, I have you know.
you head back to the inn and you crash out for like 2 or 3 hours, and then you get back out. As the morning begins to spawn across the world, you have a choice of the castle, the blacksmith stables, the town hall, the inn, or the town square.
I'd like to discuss something though. If he is a vampire, he's not going to be up when the sun's out.
Exactly. Now's the time. We can go and have a... If he is up, we know he's not a vampire.
Well, I'll have to find a way into the castle. Do you guys think you have
Do you
a way of
really
getting
think
into
that
the
this
castle?
door is going to be a trouble for us? I think that man was maybe a little short upstairs. I think this door might just be a door.
If that is what you believe,
While he's been sitting in a graveyard for weeks on end, he obviously doesn't need much stimulation, if you like.
I don't like it when you say stimulation.
Stimulation.
if you think you can find a way into the castle, I'm more than willing to go there.
The door's open.
The door's not
The
open.
door's not open.
Well, I mean, he's sealed off every...
They sealed off every other door, so this is one door that can be opened.
Yeah, I mean, we have a door.
So you're saying there's
Dude,
a
we just-
chance?
So,
We
yeah,
just have-
that's what we're...
I do have climbing tools. I don't know if anybody else took that from the kit.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I have a climbing kit. If we're just gonna, if we're not gonna try to open the door, we can just...
Well, should we go and have a look at this door first before we sort of make any complicated plans? Should we just go check out
Yeah,
this door?
okay, I think we're in agreement. We're all going to go to the castle.
Okay, so As I said, you've been to the inn, you've had a couple of hours sleep, and you walk around the fountain, a couple of people in the town square, and you walk up round to the front of the castle. As you move up the hill towards the castle, you see just outside the castle door itself hundreds and hundreds of... It starts off as crucifixes and then descends into every single religious symbol you could possibly imagine, like staked into the ground in front of the castle. There's like hundreds of these things just taking up most of the space, though you do notice a sort of path has been weaved through. And just outside the castle itself, you see two enormous, like, metal buckets that have got, like, a layer of dried blood at the bottom of them. They look about 70-litre buckets, which is about 16 gallons in American.
A 16-gallon bucket?
Yep.
It's a big bucket.
That's a real big bucket.
And it's got, did you say it has blood in it?
It has dried blood at the bottom, yes.
Could we use the bucket to collect all the crosses?
You can
Are
collect
you
all the
going
crosses
to-
if you want.
Are you going to desecrate all these?
Yeah, I mean,
symbols?
I thought we could like take them with us and then we'd be protected.
I think you need to put them all in a bucket. You could just pick up like 5, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if you could have 5 or you could have 1,000, it's always best to have the bigger number, isn't it?
No?
No, not always. No.
As you approach the door itself, you see there are loads and loads of, like, scratch and scar marks on the door. It looks like there have been many, many attempts to get into this building, but none of them have been successful.
I do believe this might be where young Bill was trying to hammer his way into this door, don't you think?
Of course.
Looking up, is there a window or something like castles have that would be within climbing distance?
No, the only thing you can see is the roof, which is about maybe 15-20 meters up.
15 or 20 meters, all right.
Is there anything on the door? Is there any sort of sign? Is there any writing or
No,
sort
there's
of
just like
runes
lots
or...
and lots of scratch and scar marks into the door. As you sort of listen to the door, you do hear the sound of someone breathing quite quickly from the other side of the door.
Hello?
Excuse me. It's alright. We're not Bill.
At this point, all you hear is...
He either needs help or he's having a really good time.
Are you quite all right in there, sir?
Who are you out there?
I'm Endolphus Crumpledink, academic, scholar. I like to write books. Who are you?
I'm Brian.
Are you the skinny man that we've been told about?
You sort of hear the sound of someone literally just sort of looking at themselves going,
Am I?
Well, okay, let me put it
Yes.
to you this way. I'll ask you another question. Don't take any offence, and I'm not upset by what you've been doing if you have indeed been doing it. Are you the young, skinny man that has been attacking cattle in the area?
No.
Are you quite sure?
Yes, I don't attack things. I just need the blood.
Right, so it was you, I see.
No. I just need the blood. You don't
Yeah,
understand. The
No, I
dreams. The dreams are coming back. They're coming. We need the blood. We need the blood.
Okay, calm down. I fully understand. It's quite all right. We all have our urges. We all have our desires. I myself like a good knitting pattern, and I get quite excited sometimes when I see them. So don't fret. Just calm down. Do you think you could perhaps open this door?
No. The bad man will kill me.
No, there's no bad man here. We're all very nice chaps.
He sits in the tree.
Say hello
He
to
watches me.
Say hello. What's your name, sir?
What?
What's your name? I'm Endolphus Crumpledink, like I said. What's your name?
I'm Brian.
Oh yes, Brian. So everyone, say hello to Brian and explain to him how nice we are.
Hello, Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Hello, Sir Brian. If you're worried about Bill, I assure you he has been disarmed.
Who is Bill?
The man with the crossbow.
The bad man?
The bad
Yes.
man.
He sits in his tree, watching
He
me.
can... I assure you he cannot hit you from here.
I assure you, he cannot hit the broadside of a barn. He's useless. I would not worry about him at all, Brian. He's an absolute imbecile. Now,
he wants
open
to
the
kill
door
me.
and we'll come in.
He wants to kill me. I can't risk it. I can't risk it.
Would you like some protection?
I just need the blood. Out there, the buckets. I need you to fill them with blood.
I have blood.
Okay, I can
Open
do
the door
that.
and you can have mine.
Can you fill the buckets with blood? Then the dreams will go away.
When you say
I
fill,
can sleep.
Brian, when you say
I've
fill, do
missed
you mean all the way
sleep
to the
so
top?
much.
All the way?
Yes, if you fill the buckets, then the dreams will stop.
Okay, don't
I
go
can
away,
sleep.
Brian. Stay right there. We need to just have a little... Okay, guys, huddle. How many people do you think we need to kill in this village to fill up this bucket?
We do not need to kill any people to fill any.
Oh, Sir Knight, stop being such a...
Obviously, I'm not opposed to the idea of filling the blood so that we may gain access to the castle, but there's no reason it needs to be human, tiefling, or any other kind of humanoid blood.
I mean, we could do a sort of donation drive.
Blood drive going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask Brian, what are these dreams about?
The eyes. So many eyes. They're watching. They're watching us now. They can't wake. No, the dreams, they must stop. They must stop.
I formed a plan, chaps. These villagers down here, they don't like this Brian fellow, right? They want him gone. Now, I wonder how much they want him gone. If they're all willing to give just a smidging of blood, we could perhaps run it like a bargain and say, you give us some of your blood and we'll see to the trap.
I don't follow. Why do you believe these villagers don't like Brian? I've heard nothing of the sort.
I thought they wanted him gone.
The barmaid did call him a bastard.
I'm not entirely sure.
The barmaid
Are we
was
talking about Brian or are we talking about Bill?
Oh, that's a good question.
I believe the barmaid had a problem with Bill. She only thought Brian was a vampire.
Okay, new plan. Neil, you said you'd put some blood in there. How much do you think you've got in your body? Do you think you could fill up this bucket?
I have about 5 liters, right?
Something like that.
I can give 2. I need 3 to live. If my math
Do you
is
know,
correct.
really?
Yep, no, that's medical science, but Brian,
Yes.
is there a way that you can grant us access into the castle to talk with you face to face?
No. I can't. Stop talking at me. I can't. It's fine. It's okay. It's quiet. It's peaceful.
Is there
Peaceful.
is there someone else in there with you, Brian?
No. It's just me. I'm talking to them. Shut up. It's fine. It's just Brian. Brian needs the blood.
Okay.
Okay, I have a question. Is there like a slit or anything at the bottom of this door? Maybe big enough that I could slide a mirror in?
There's a very, very small little letterbox one, but it's like side on, and it's maybe about 8 inches in height.
I have a steel mirror. Would that fit in there?
You go and look for it, and you see that he is looking through the smallest gap in this flap.
What does he look like?
In the morning light, which isn't that much considering how dark it is inside the castle, you see a sort of white-haired man with like very bloodshot eyes. You don't really see much of his face, but you see his eyes are completely like blood red. It's like he hasn't slept in weeks.
And there's no one else around.
Not anyone you can see, no. From what you can see through the door, there's not anything else you can see.
There. Okay. I'll withdraw my mirror. He doesn't look too good, friends.
So back to the huddle. The way I see it, there are a couple options here. We still could attempt to climb the roof, if that's something we want to pursue, or we could fill these barrels with blood from animals, not slain humans.
I mean, is there really such a difference between a cow and some of those lumps we saw in the bar?
Yes.
Or could
So
investigate
you say.
with the townspeople. I am getting the shaking suspicion that some of the other guildmates of Bill's might have been right, that this is all some kind of stunt for publicity.
Did you say that he was looking through the mail slot
Yeah,
thing?
he's looking
that
through the mail slot. It's about eye level with you, and it's
Okay.
like, got like maybe like an inch open, and he's just looking through, and you just see this like bloodshot eye looking each of you in turn, like quite manically.
Being the stealthy boy that I am, I'm gonna slide a dagger up and then poke him in the eye.
Okay,
Ow!
roll.
If we can piss him off, maybe he'll come out and play.
I highly doubt it.
15.
You hear a shriek, and the flap immediately shuts, and you hear just the sort of
No.
He didn't like that, guys.
And you just hear the sound of really pathetic sobbing. But it's just coming
Neil,
from like
I
down the
do
bottom
believe-
of the door. It's like he's just curled up and starts sobbing.
I do think you may have made the poor chap cry, Neil. Well done. Well done, you. So, what were you saying about how much blood you'll need to live?
He said we needed to fill the
16 gallons? Do you know how long that's going to take?
I also feel like that option might kind of be shot now. We just stabbed his eye out.
Okay, Brian.
I believe he will be crying for weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think you might. Brian, do you still want this blood? If we get the blood, will you still let us in?
He's just sobbing. You don't hear any return of the conversation.
Okay, perhaps we should think about climbing.
Brian, can you stand up? I'm sorry. Can you look through the mail slot again? I want to...
He's not listening to you. He's just sobbing.
Brian, stand up. Come on now. Look back. Make eye contact with me.
You stabbed him through the eye. I really don't think he's going to be standing up talking to you.
I'm going to slide a gold through the mail slot. Brian, please.
You just hear the sound of sobbing. He's not going to respond. He's curled up in a ball on the floor.
All right, Neil, time to go. And I'm going to pick Neil up and start throwing him.
Can I put my arm through the mail slot and
It's too
pat him
small
on
for
the
you to
head?
put your arm through.
Man, because my other option was I was going to pour lamp oil into the slot and then use a flint and tinder to...
Why are you so heavy?
Right, okay, Neil, let's not do that, yes? We're trying to be friendly with Brian.
You can set him on fire
Let's
if you want.
not
It's entirely up to
nuke
you.
the game.
Vampires burn, right?
Most people burn. Most things burn, as a matter of fact.
Let's not test it out though, yeah?
I mean, I guess if you guys want to be boring about it, that's fine.
Neil, climb.
All right. I'm going to put on my suction cups and...
Do you think that's what the climbing is?
That's what I imagined. I don't know if that's what it's...
Grappling hook and a bit of rope.
All right. I don't know that I can throw this 100... Did you say 150 meters?
It's about 20 meters straight up.
Oh, 20 meters straight up. Right. Is the grappling hook long enough?
Yeah, you can try and fling it onto the roof. Not sure what it'll hook onto, but you can fling it up on the roof anyway.
Okay. I'll do that.
Alright, roll to see how you get on.
I'm going to look over to Sir Joseph and I'm going to say, if he fucks this up, we could get all of his litres into that bucket.
You throw it up, it comes straight back down. Can everyone do me a dodge roll to not be hit by a grappling hook?
Sorry, guys.
See? Trent killing our characters.
So, Joseph gets clanged. Let's see, where does he get clanged? So as it comes down, it sort of lands on Joseph's foot.
You've dented my armor.
Let me try this again.
I'm
Okay.
stepping back.
Yep.
Everybody
check it again.
back.
Again, it comes straight back down. Everyone do me a dodge roll.
Guys, can someone else try something? 'Cause I'm obviously this dice bot.
Yep, you're all fine. You all managed to dodge it this time, coming back down.
Because we took that step back this time.
Yeah.
Would you like me to try one more time?
No.
Not particularly.
No, I think you may be all out there, chap. I think you bit of a sticky wicket around here. Put
One
that
more
down.
time.
Yep. You fling it up, it gets hooked on something, and the rope gets taut, so you can climb up if you want.
Hey,
See?
as-
Now
like
can
I
you
always-
see how Trent always kills us?
Like I always say, third time's a charm. If you don't get it the first time, blow it up. I guess I'll start climbing.
Okay. So you climb up onto the roof. Is anyone else going with you, or is it just you?
Can anybody else climb proficiently? I mean,
Anyone can climb if they want.
I'll do this. I'm going to climb first, ensure that the grappling hook is in a correct position to hold other people climb. That way it doesn't just break.
I'll come up with you.
I will stay down here in case somebody needs to be got.
Right.
I'm not
Okay.
climbing a rope. What do you think I am?
So you climb up to the top. As you get onto the roof itself, you notice the roof is very slippery, and the grappling hook seems to be hooked around the chimney.
Slippery just from water, or?
It seems to have like a layer of like, it's kind of like moss, it's kind of like slime, but it feels very slippery underfoot.
We determined this is a castle. Is there a reference to size as far as like Would this be like a quick jaunt down to where I could easily find the front door from the inside, or is it like a kind of a larger?
It's kind of like a more sort of self-contained keep. So this is a sort of flat roof. It's got a sort of chimney further along, but the roof's quite slanted.
Okay.
It's like it's been adapted from a traditional castle, but they've kept a lot of the original elements.
Okay. Well, we could go down the chimney, or we could smoke him out.
Try to find a way to get to the door.
Okay, I'll jump down the chimney.
Perhaps water or something. Okay, he's gone.
You notice quite a lot of smoke coming out the chimney at this point, and he wants to jump down it still.
Are tieflings fire resistant?
Usually.
Alright, then yeah.
Okay, roll to see how you do falling 20 meters straight down.
Oh, I forgot to say I was gonna hook myself down the chimney.
At least you'll probably put out the fire with your dead body.
Guys,
He'll get some
mistakes
blood.
are made.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap!
Fucking hell, yes. You land surprisingly well on the ground in the middle of the fire. The flames are massive and just start burning around you, and you feel parts of your clothes catching fire.
Tuck and roll?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Okay, well, I
Okay,
guess that
so-
means I have to give it a try.
Okay, so it's Gilligan's turn.
Gilligan is going to use his rope for as far as he can as well.
Okay, so roll to sort of slalom down, maybe? Sort of grapple down. You manage to sort of slowly get yourself down. The fire is quite large at the bottom, though. So you're tiefling as well, so you're fine. You don't have to worry about fire. So your clothes are slowly catching fire as you get to the bottom.
I'll walk out of the flames as dramatically as possible.
Okay. So you're currently standing in a very small, study. There is an open book on the table. There is a bag of oats lying on the floor. There's an empty bowl. There is a rug in front of you, and this is now beginning to catch fire. And there is a sort of overstuffed leather chair. And as you look to your right, you see a corridor leading to what sounds like a very crying man.
I'll put the rug out real quick, just
Okay.
to make sure that's being said, so we don't forget that.
Okay, so you stamp the rug out.
Is there a pitcher of water in here or anything?
Nope, nothing like that.
Okay.
There is a lot of furniture that looks like it's been made as a barricade at the back
Right.
for the other two exits to the room. It looks like there's only just one exit to the room, and it leads to where Brian is literally huddled on the floor, still sobbing his eyes out.
Well, one eye.
Yeah, it's his single eye, and blood is pouring down his face on the other side, yeah. You have popped his eye.
Brian, we've made it inside. I'm gonna approach you now.
Okay,
Please,
As you walk up to him, you see that the door in front of you has got about 18 different deadbolt locks across it. It looks like there was no way anyone could have broken into it.
I will start unlocking the door while he deals with Brian.
yeah. I mean, I guess is Brian moving? Is he
He
acknowledging
seems
us
to be unconscious at the moment, but he seems to be very tearfully unconscious. Seems to occasionally just still be weeping.
Crying in his sleep.
Is there any type of medicine check or bandages that I could wrap around his face to help the
Have you
bleeding?
got any bandages?
No, I don't.
Have you got nature?
No, I don't.
There is a blanket over the chair that you can take through to him if you want to wrap that around him.
Okay, I'm gonna wrap his head in a blanket.
Okay.
Well, maybe keep the mouth free or something.
Oh, yeah, and as to not smother him, I'm gonna wrap a blanket around his head.
So you've now opened the door to the castle. Brian is still sort of unconscious and twitching on the floor. What are you going to do now?
Rex?
I say, good show, chaps.
Yeah,
Indeed.
we kind of failed into this one.
What's wrong with Brian's head?
I stabbed him in the eye.
Giant turnip.
I wrapped
Did you-
it so stop bleeding.
Can we
You
see
wrapped
Bill's
it.
tree from here?
Yep.
Is he still sitting there?
No,
Because he
it's
knows-
early morning. He doesn't seem to be there in the morning.
Okay, excellent. Shut the door.
What happens if you take Brian into the sunlight?
You can drag Brian into the sunlight if you want.
Problem
Excuse me.
solved.
You drag Brian into the sunlight, he's still just twitching and nothing else really happens.
Okay, I'll drag him back inside.
I'm gonna.
I have some experience with the history of these creatures, and I'm been led to believe that they would combust in the sunlight, which makes me think he's possibly not a vampire.
I think you're onto something there, friend.
I'm gonna pull out like a little bit of kindling and make a little like makeshift match and kind of hold it up to his skin. Does he like instantly catch on fire?
No.
Neil, I believe we've probably done enough testing now. Do you want to stop trying to burn the young man?
I was just making sure. That's all.
Okay, good job.
He's not flammable any more so than the rest of us.
You could always splash him with the holy water.
Oh, I have a vial of that in my pocket, actually. Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, you want to pour holy water over him?
I want to pour the plant water over him.
Plant water, okay. You throw the plant water over him, he just gets wet.
Right. Okay.
Brian's
unconscious at this point, remember?
All right.
I can wake him up if
should we
you'd like.
stop? Should we stop defiling the unconscious man on the floor now?
Probably.
Would you like me to chain him? I've got some chains. Would you like me to chain him up?
Yes.
Okay, I've got some chains and I have a padlock, so I'm going to chain him up with and padlock it.
Okay,
so
are you
that
chaining him
can't
up just
escape.
as he is? Are you chaining him up to something?
I think it'd be nice to chain him up sort of just as he is, so we sort of contract his arms to his side so that he can't lash out, because I think it'd be good to keep him mobile in case we need to drag him around us.
Okay.
I'm going to shut the door and lock it.
Okay,
We
so
could
you put
take-
bolts across.
We could take a really hard left here and just like take him to the village ourselves tonight and kill him and take all the glory.
Well,
Is there really any glory in killing this sorry creature?
No,
I'd
but
like to-
no one else knows he's a sorry creature.
did anybody else take note that he was talking to someone else?
You're a scamp, Gilligan. I like what you think.
There's something else going on here, and if we're gonna take the glory to get more gold, which I'm for, why don't we figure out what actually is going on here and why he needs the blood? So he's out. Let's do a little bit of searching around and see what's going on before we just rush him back into the town and they just kill him just to kill him.
Okay, so you walk back along the corridor back into the study. As I said, there's not much here. There's a table with a bag of oats beneath it and an empty bowl on the table. There's a chair, there's the rug, there's the two lots of barricaded exits to the room that look like all the furniture seems to have been like stacked up. And there's an open book on the table.
Oh,
a large
Crumpledig.
leather-bound book.
Can I straight away? I'm going to go and check out that book.
Okay, when you look at the early sort of pages, the first few, it looks like a very detailed description of like the furniture that was found in here. It starts off by saying things like, you know, elaborate bureau with quite intrinsic design. It looks like it's given a size, a shape, and a value to each item of furniture as it goes along. And as you flick through the pages, you note the detail getting less and less and less, and then the final few pages are just "help me" written over and over again.
Okay, and with my ginormous literacy score, can I tell for sure that it's all written by the same hand?
It is. It looks like it's written by the same hand, but it looks like his shakes started very badly, but halfway through. It looks like his hands have become shakier the more it's going on.
Do you think he's just malnourished because it seems like he only lives on oats?
I do think he may well be not particularly healthy, yes. I don't think there's anyone else here. I say, I'm just as loud as I can, top of my voice. I say there.
So there's a hallway. Should we just go door by door, see what happens?
There's literally no doors at all. It's just the one corridor leading to this room. But you can
That's
take
it.
down the barricades if you want and look after them.
Those are exits, right?
They were exits that have been like, it looks like it was initially hurriedly blocked with furniture, but it's
Okay.
gathered so much dust it's been there for a long time.
Is there nothing else on the table, or is there any drawers in the table? Or
No, just a simple table with a bag of oats underneath and a bowl on top of it and a spoon.
is there any milk?
Ew, dry oats? Gross.
That's why he needed the blood for his oats. Maybe it's
Oh. that's
bloody oatmeal.
Wunderbar.
I'm just gonna start unstacking one of the entrances or
Yep.
exits, I guess, and we'll go through that way.
Okay, so you slowly unstack all of the furniture, and as you unstack the furniture, you open up another exit. As you walk at least 5 feet into it, you notice that there is like a thick cloud of dust from here on out that looks like it's not been touched by anyone in a very, very long time.
What do you say, guys? We'll go down this one?
Sure. I believe it just leads us outside, though, right?
After a while of following down, you just eventually come to a door which seems to be barricaded from the outside.
Okay.
Bill did say he poured molten lead on it.
Yeah, okay. We'll do the other one then.
Yep. Again, you just do the exact same thing. Open it. There's thick layers of dust. You walk through. There's a couple of rooms, but they don't have anything in them at all. And then you just come to the 2 doors that both seem to be sealed shut.
From the outside?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And is that safe to assume that, like, that's the entire estate that we've
Yeah.
looked?
Basically, you've walked around. Most of the other rooms are either completely empty. It's like all the valuables seem to have been brought to this one room to be catalogued, and then he seems to have used them as a barricade.
I do believe that Brian might be slightly unwell. Should we go back and see if we can get any sense out of the chap?
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, we will say it does move on in time, so it's up to you if you want to stay here or move on. It's getting to the afternoon, so you can stay at the castle, you can go to the blacksmith stables, you can go to the town hall, or you can go to the inn. It's up to you what you do.
I think probably stay here and talk with Brian, right?
Okay.
I think he's insane.
He might be insane, but if on the chance that he's not and there's some kind of like hidden dungeon
Wait.
with a vampire in it.
Could we take Brian back to the inn and pay for an hour with Brenda and get him, maybe?
You can do whatever you want, it's up to you.
I think it's time to go confront the council about
I would agree with you.
what's going.
I mean, we
Should we take Brian with us,
to the
though?
Well, Brian's in chains, you can do whatever you want with him.
Yeah,
He's not going to
we
go
can take
anywhere.
Yeah, we'll take him along.
Yeah.
Alright, so where are you going?
Town hall.
Okay.
Something is afoul here.
Okay, so all town hall happy?
Yep.
Okay. As you walk down the hill carrying this unconscious Brian covered in chains, you get to the town hall and you hear a discussion going on inside. Do you wish to listen to the discussion or just walk in?
Let's listen for a second. See what they're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah,
It'd be rude to barge in.
At this point, you hear,
Right, so what's on the agenda for today, Jacob?
well, Uwe, you see we've got Astrid here. She's been told by Bill that stakes are good against vampires.
Steaks, you say? Well, that's good. I mean, who doesn't feel better after a good steak, eh, Jacob?
Yes, Uwe. What do you think we should do about it?
Well, the best thing we probably could do, if they're very good against vampires, would be to import steak for everyone, I think. Maybe a pound of steak each, I think. I think that'd be a great idea. It'd be a big morale boost to everyone in the town. Then at least they'd have a good meal after the vampire was gone.
This guy's been drinking the plant water.
I'll look into the import tax, Uwe, if that's what you want to do.
Yes. Look how much some cattle would cost. We can slaughter them and then give everyone a pound of steak, and everyone will be happy, and, they can use it against the vampire, and if they don't use it, we can have a nice big meal at the end.
And at this point, you hear a sort of girl sobbing, going, I was glad to be helpful.
What's she saying, Jacob? I can't make her out.
She's saying she's grateful she's making a difference, Uwe.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, yes, dear. You're making a difference, and you telling us such wonderful facts that we can help cure the village and make everybody happy and protected against the vampire.
So, what do you want to do? Do you want to knock and go in? Do you want to just walk straight in? What do you want to do?
I'll knock. Don't want to be rude.
Okay. You knock, and then at this point you hear,
Ah, right. I know the drill. No vampire, you may not come in.
I am not a vampire.
Then why did you knock? Vampires need permission. You have no permission, vampire. Go away.
This town have no manners. I was just afraid of being rude.
at this point you hear a voice from this end. So, if you're not a vampire, the door is open, but you don't have permission to come in if you are a vampire.
Okay.
I'll try carrying Brian through the door. Does he is he forced to stop?
No,
Or he-
Brian, you just carry Brian through. He's unconscious and just still bleeding everywhere, so he's fine.
Oh, did no one fix him yet?
No, you've just wrapped a blanket around his face. He's not done anything to him.
We don't have any way to fix him.
Is there a doctor here? This man is bleeding. He was attacked by an unknown assailant.
Oh, what's going on there? Jacob, do we have a doctor?
We don't really have a doctor, Uwe. I mean, the only close thing we have is Ernst, but I don't know where he is right now.
Oh, well, lend a hand, Jacob, lend a hand. Patch the man up.
Isn't that the vampire, Uwe?
Oh, well, it could very well be, in fact. Where did you find the gentleman?
In the castle.
Oh, right. Well, is that not a vampire?
No.
No.
No, right. All right, lend a hand, Jacob, lend a hand. Let's bandage him up then.
So after about 5 minutes of watching the most fucking around you've ever seen anyone try and bandage an eye shut from between you and these two council members, you bandage Brian up. He's sort of lying on a table with a sort of makeshift gauze bandage over his face, still covered in chains. But one of the council members goes,
So, why have you brought him here?
We've come to show you that there's not a vampire problem.
Oh, well, is there not? Oh, that's a shame. Oh, well, it's good there's not a vampire. I mean, that does mean we have to counter those stakes, though, Jacob. I was really looking forward to them.
Do you know who this man is?
Jacob sort of walks over and looks at him and goes, no, I've never seen him before, and sort of looks at his one remaining eye and goes, his eye is terribly bloodshot though, is something wrong with him?
We believe he's been not sleeping or eating anything besides oats for weeks inside that castle.
Oh, right, well, that's not very good for you. I mean, I think what he needs is a pound of steak. How about we organ the steak anyway, Jacob, and we tell everyone it's a celebration that there isn't a vampire?
I like steak, but excuse me, Mr. Townman. How raw do you like your steak exactly? I like
really
it quite raw.
important.
I like
It
my
is very important.
Oh, I like
for
it
them.
quite cooked,
Joseph.
A little bit of blood trickling down, but very tasty and very sort of nice, juicy, buttery almost.
Chaps.
I know what you're going to suggest.
Could we huddle? I'm not entirely sure. I think this man might be the vampire.
Because he likes a steak.
Yes. Doesn't seem too fussed about Brian, does he? And he likes his steak raw. Well, he mentioned blood, at least. He seems to be very obsessed with steak.
Because he likes a steak medium rare, he's a vampire?
Well, all of the cattle was injured. Excuse me, Townman.
Oh, yes. Are you new in the village? You come to live in our community?
Not live, no. Could you just ask me one question? Have you ever cored a rectum?
A what? Oh, well, back in my youth, I used to help with the cattle runs, and I remember those days. Used to watch them get split wide open, and we had to get the big knives with the hooks.
Yes, I'm quite sure this man's quite dangerous.
You watch the other councilman just look at him just like, you've never mentioned that before, Rufy?
Yes, well, all the skills a man picks up in his life, it's very fascinating. So, what have you come to our wonderful village to do? I mean, I know you've caught, Thingamabob there, but what have you come here to do? Have you come to partake in maybe a turnip harvest or something?
Originally, we came to check upon Bill,
Who's Bill?
the hunter.
Bill the Hunter. Do you know Bill the Hunter, Jacob?
I've not got any hunter called Bill, no, but there is Bill obviously, but it's as far as we go.
Oh, the grumpy one. Yes, I know exactly who you mean. Sorry, a senior moment.
No worries.
How old, when you say senior moment, how old exactly would you say you are?
He looks up in his about 70s and he goes,
Oh, well, since a young man, I've been, I think I'm about, 75 this year, I think, if I remember right.
When, in your youth, could you tell me the earliest point you can remember?
Oh, I remember standing in the fields outside Dorahurst watching the geese and the pond, and then that young Gertrude girl. Oh, she was very beautiful. I remember that, very nice. And we had the sort of meal of the turnips and the harvest as we spoke to the royal family. And yes, I remember.
he just sort of goes on to this really boring, detailed story about, his youth.
Is there any way to tell
Look at the rest of you just like, is there a purpose to making him remember all these memories?
Is there any way to tell if that does measure up with 70 years or perhaps 170?
Well, Uwe is quite old, and I don't know how old he actually is, but, I think he's in his 70s at least. According to town record, he's been in the council for the last 50 years.
Yes, I think we might be onto something here, chaps. I think we should perhaps remove the chains from Brian and put it on this young man. Well, old man.
You think Uwe's a vampire?
No.
He's as much of a vampire as Brian is.
But he does all his speeches in the sun.
Exactly.
Now that's a good piece of observation. Well done, Jacob. Well done. I can see why you're the right-hand man, and not I.
Well, I mean, Ufe's never been shy. I mean, I know he rambles at times, but he does seem to have the village's, best interests at heart.
Right.
Can you tell me this vampire business? No one was injured by the vampire. Why is everyone so scared?
Well, you see, since the gentleman there arrived in the castle, when he first arrived, Zartarosa brought him a nice tray of food, and he apparently told her he didn't eat human food and pushed her away. And ever since then, everyone's been a little bit unnerved. And then these animals start turning up with all the blood drained out of them, and people ask questions.
He did have a penchant for blood. He asked us to get him some blood, but we have run quite extensive tests, and it seems he's not a vampire, but perhaps
How do you test for a vampire, if you'll pardon my asking?
Well, Neil tried to set him on fire.
Does that work?
I have no idea. It seems a bit barbaric to me, but he said he said as much.
Seems more than slightly barbaric, but yes, I suppose you could put the torch to them and see if they burn, but that seems a little harsh.
We
That's
also
exactly what I said.
We also use the holy water, blessed by the gods from above.
All right. Oh, we have barrels of that all around town.
And we carried him here in the sun.
Yes, well, I suppose you've taken him outside in the sun and you've exposed him to all the blessed stuff. I mean, I guess he isn't a vampire. But if he isn't a vampire, what is he?
Scary.
Insane.
Can I shake him awake?
You can try and shake him awake if you want. He's completely unconscious, but you can try to shake him awake if you want. At this point, you hear the old man go,
And then I remember I met my first wife. Oh, she was a great big of a woman. And she
Actually,
started-
can we just sit here and listen to this guy's tale for the next 70 years? Do you have the story?
He's literally going through his entire back history, which I'm not going to do, but he's going through his entire back history. He even tells you a sort of 8-minute long tale of how he once caught a fish. It's just in graphic old man detail of just him happily telling stories.
I love those.
And you just watch the other councilman just look at you with kind of like, I've heard these all so many times before, can we please not set him off like this again?
I just kind of want to try to wake him up.
Have you unchained him or is he still chained up?
Probably keep him chained up.
Okay. How are you going to wake him up?
I guess just try to nicely kind of jostle him.
I've got a tankard full of water if you want to throw it on his face.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. So you throw the tanker of water into his face. He reacts a little bit, then his eye shoots open and it's like...
Now calm down, Brian.
Oh, he's awake! Fantastic, right. This is the bit I'm looking forward to, right? So you're not a vampire, but you like to live in our town and not be a recluse that lives in the castle.
At this point, Brian goes, what's going on? Where am I? Where am I?
You're in town hall.
What? Why am I here? What day is it?
Calm down, dear. You're here because we bought you. You know we're friendly. We spoke to you before outside the castle. Do you remember that?
You poked my eye out.
No, that was Neil. Just forget Neil. He's actually gone out of his way a little bit to redeem himself by getting you some first aid. You should heal up just fine. Probably better once you get a bit more nourished.
At this point, you hear the sort of like clink as he realizes he's chained. He goes, what's this? Why am I restrained?
We thought it might be for the best because you seem a little bit erratic. If you could perhaps calm down, we could perhaps let you free.
Let's see what he does. He runs screaming into the wall, knocks himself out.
Okay.
Thanks, Brian.
I suggest we take Brian down to Bill and just toss him into the graveyard and see what happens.
I have a feeling I know what's going to happen.
Me too, but it will make for a fantastic spectacle and a wonderful anecdote for my book.
So I just ask, this is the one we have paid Bill to kill, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Jacob, why was he charging so much to kill that? I thought it was far more grand than that.
Well, as I've told you many times, Uwe, the point is that it's not that Bill can't kill something like that, it's that no one else should. Bill is a man blessed by God, or his sins are forgiven for any kills he has to do, because he is blessed. Whereas if you or I did it, our souls would be damned for all eternity.
Oh, well, I don't want to be damned for all eternity. I've lived a long and, relatively nice life, I suppose, Jacob, and I don't really want to be persecuted for sin, if that's all right.
Yes, Uwe, we've had this discussion many times before.
How much are you paying this Bill to kill this creature?
Oh, how much are we paying him, Jacob? Well, he's due the other half of his pay, which is about 1,200 gold.
Might I suggest...
What?
you
What?
give us
What?
that
What?
money,
Hey, what?
And we'll kill
What?
him right now in front of you?
I'm sorry. What? What?
Well,
He's making how much? What?
When you hire someone from the guild to kill a vampire, you hire the best, or they tell you hire the best, and it cost us, well, it's going to cost us the most of 2,500 gold.
What?
Huddle, chaps, huddle. I believe that we should perhaps suggest that we'll take care of him right now in front of their very eyes for this half of Bill's money. What do you think?
Yeah, I can slit his throat right now.
I'm not opposed to it.
I mean, I think if we can try, we could do it however they'd like. You know, if they'd like to watch, maybe get some more.
I'm going to turn around to the council real quick. I want to point out here, gentlemen, that Bill's been here for how long? And
He's
hasn't
been here for about a month, I think, if that's right, Jacob? Yes, Uwe, about a month.
he hasn't produced any results.
No,
We were
not.
here
He's been
for-
quite lackluster, in fact. I expected
Exactly.
him to be better, but I do know that the villagers have been not the nicest to deal with.
Well, we were
You
here.
can't speak that way of the villagers, Jacob. I mean, they're trying their best.
We were here for less than 24 hours, and we were able to get into the castle and bring you the person inside of it. So I would say that there's cause for pay of at least nothing less than double you're
Well,
paying Jacob.
they have a point, Uwe.
Well, wouldn't you be the one saying that we need to get Bill to do it? I mean, what about these people? I mean, wouldn't their souls be damned if we... wouldn't our souls as well be damned if we accepted that they would do this?
Well, to be
Well,
fair, the
yes,
guild did send
If
us.
they offer to us to do it, then we are not asking them, they are asking us, so our slate would be clean.
Oh, really? Right, okay, well, that's fine then. But how do we deal with Bill?
We'll deal with Bill.
All right, well, if you want to kill, yes, but just don't do it in here. The cleanup's a bit bad. But if you take him away and you kill him and you end his life, and we don't have to worry about, things up there coming down to get us, then we will pay you the other half. That's fine. I mean, it's no skin off our nose, as it were. As long as you deal with Bill, then everybody's happy.
Happy.
Why do you want us to kill him now that you know he's not a vampire?
Well, you see, it's the principle of the thing, and Bill told us that he couldn't leave because it was, what did he say, Jacob?
He's made his word that this mark is his and he will kill it.
That's it, yes. He said he won't leave until it's dead, so, either we, get rid of it, and to be honest, Bill has been quite of an arsehole to our villagers, so, if we get someone else and pay them, and they do a better job, then I have no problem with it.
I think the villagers will be very happy for us to get Bill out of their hair.
I mean, we did pass a bill last night, in fact, about how the villagers shouldn't talk to Bill anymore. So I think if we'd give these people the money and let them kill that, thing, then we'll all be happy. We can have that. We can finally open those kegs, Jacob.
You mean the ones in the inn,
saying
Uwe?
that
Yes,
you
we can
passed
finally open the kegs of ale and have our proper knees up.
Are you saying that you passed a bill last night?
Oh, we passed a Don't Talk to Bill bill. I love that. I named it myself.
Right then. Okay, Bill is sleeping, correct? Because he stays
What time we at, Jacob?
It's the afternoon, Uwe.
I think at this point, Bill's usually shouting at Ferdinand.
Oh,
Okay.
as well. Could you write a letter of recommendation for our knight friend here saying we
Oh,
got
of
rid the,
course.
vampire?
Jacob, could you, say that this man has worked with honor and all the things, put my signature at the bottom.
Yes, Uwe. At this point, the young man takes a bit of paper and starts, what would you like it to say?
Tell them that I did a good job here.
You did a good job, Jacob. Just write, commendable honor and all that jazz. The things that, knights find nice. Virtue, maidens, put some roses in. They like roses.
Yes, Uwe.
Could I make a request as well? Could I possibly
Oh, yes,
have,
what would you have to say?
could I possibly have Brian's body when we're finished? No, I'm an academic.
I don't want anything to happen to his corpse. It would be a bit, unsanitary.
No, I'm writing a book, you see, on esoterica, and I would like his body just for research purposes and to finish writing, make a wonderful anecdote in my book if I could perhaps include a little illustration of the dead vampire thing.
You're not going to turn him into a puppet, are you?
No.
Well, I suppose if it's a free body, then you're welcome to it.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Right.
So Jacob hands Joseph a letter that does say, acted with valor and all this stuff. A couple of the words are badly misspelled, but it does seem to be signed by the Council of Dorohursk.
Beautiful.
This is worthless.
Is it?
Yes. Something else is going on here.
Yeah, but
Okay, I agree with Joseph, but I also think we should perhaps deal with this situation now amicably so we can get away and then perhaps come back and maybe wipe out the entire village because they all seem a little wrong to me. There's something going on here and it's very complicated, and I think perhaps it's like one of those situations where we just need to wipe it out.
Is Joseph wearing any type of religious symbology or anything like that? No, he's not.
Mm-mm.
Or not. Sorry, not Joseph.
Jacob.
Jacob.
They just seemed very willing to kill a man for no other reason.
You look at Jacob. Jacob just seems to be wearing standard council robes.
I'm gonna kind of sneak behind. Well, not really sneak, but kind of walk behind and wait for someone else to address him. And then I'm going to use a blowpipe and a dart that has like sleeping, I guess, poison on it. I don't necessarily like killing people as far as my style of smash and grab. So I use a sedative on my darts.
I don't really understand why you're sneaking behind him to do it, but yeah, sure.
Well, I just want to get out of his line of sight and then wait. Not necessarily sneaking behind Jacob, but just kind of in the back of our group. Kind of walking to the back, and then that way he's less...
You walk there, and as some of you pick up the unconscious body of Brian, you can shoot Jacob if you want with a blowpipe. That's fine.
Okie dokie.
You hit him in the back of the hand. He immediately goes, "What the?" And he pulls it out and goes, What have you done to my hand? And if he goes,
What's wrong with you, Jacob? You sound like you're a bit tired. Did you sleep well last night?
I'm just sleepy.
24 on the old man is...
Yep, you hit the old man. The old man goes down and goes, "Oh, it's time to meet the floor." So at this point, I imagine you just shoot Jacob again. So and the young girl that was there has left already. So it's Jacob and Uwe are unconscious. What do you want to do?
We're kind of the council now.
He was way too ready to kill a guy. I'm gonna search him. Anything amulet-y or magical looking or something that, I don't know how vampires work, and maybe there's some kind of like daylight ring. Just basically stripping him of like...
Is this the old man?
No, Jacob.
No,
both
the
of
old
them.
man.
Both of them. Okay. You look them all over. They both seem just to be wearing council robes and nothing else. Jacob has a couple of like bangles and stuff on, but none of them are any magical. They look more like sort of family heirlooms kind of thing, but they're not really got any magic to them. The old man has nothing on him, but he does have a slingshot and some rocks in his pocket.
I like his style. Does anybody have a holy symbol that we could press on?
I have a holy symbol. I actually have one in
Could
my
you
pocket.
touch these guys with them?
I certainly could. I take out my holy symbol and slap it on his chops.
Okay, you hit the old man. The old man, nothing happens. You hit Jacob, there's a slight sizzle, but nothing much more than that.
What do you mean? It's a slight sizzle.
You smack the holy symbol into his face. It looks like it's burned very slightly.
Fucking called it. Hey guys, chain this dude up. He's our vampire.
Yes, I believe you're right.
Okay.
Does anyone have any chains?
You do.
Yes, but mine are on Brian. I'm taking Brian home.
Brian's not dead yet.
I have rope.
I'm taking him home however he is.
Okay, yeah, well, I guess we'll tie him up.
I have
and then
manacles.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
We'll manacle him, and then we'll tie the holy symbol, like, to his bare chest. That way he's weakened.
Okay.
Fucking
What about
cool.
Uwe?
So,
What about Uwe, though?
yeah, what about the old man? What are you doing with the old man?
I don't know. I mean,
We should at least gag him, right?
Just put him in a chair. He'll wake up and think he fell
Yeah,
asleep
he
in a nap.
just taking a nap. Yeah, I'll just kind of get him dressed again because I did strip him naked. And we get him dressed and put him in a chair in kind of a sleeping position.
Okay.
Where are we taking Jacob?
It's broad daylight too. If we want him to get there not burned to pieces, we'll have to think about that.
Well, I mean, he's out in broad daylight anyway, so I don't know that sunlight really affects vampires.
He's in the town hall.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in.
Can I open the curtains?
Yeah, we
you
should
can open
test
the curtains. He doesn't seem to be affected by the sunlight.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Did I establish that I took off all of the family heirloom?
Yep,
Stuff?
you took off all his bracelets and everything like that, yep.
Okay, I'm
Can
gonna
I-
pocket those.
Can I check out the heirlooms before you pocket them and see if there's anything I recognise in terms of like lore, like sort of like history of his family or anything like that?
Yeah, I'll let you look at them.
Sure. If you want to do a lore roll or a religion roll, I'll tell you if you find anything.
Crit.
Natural 20, yes. You find one of the bangles definitely seems to be very archaic writing. It seems to be
Ooh,
full
can I
of
read it?
symbols and seems to... It's not got any power to it, but it looks like it belongs to definitely some sort of society-style bracelet.
Okay, I think this bracelet might be important, chaps. I think we should definitely keep it away from him. And if we can find somebody who can maybe explain some of this history to us.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll keep it away from him by keeping it on my person, where it's going.
I think we need to get Bill. He is, whether you think so or not, an experienced hunter.
Right. Okay. Should we take Jacob to Bill or bring Bill to Jacob?
Take Jacob to Bill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because the crossbow's down there.
All right. We will.
We're hauling like 2 unconscious bodies across town.
Well, I mean, Brian's understandable. We will do like a weekend at Bernie's style with Jacob, and like
Did you
have
put
him
Jacob's
like
clothes
walk
back
around.
on, or is Jacob still naked?
We'll put his clothes back on unless
Underneath,
they're.
he's got the holy symbol tied to his chest.
Yes, yeah, and so he's knocked out and weakened, and I'll put it like one arm around my shoulders, and we'll have Gilligan put one arm around his shoulders, and we'll just walk like we're just buddies in a huddle, and weekend at Bernie's style, walk him to Bill.
Okay,
Should
so
we
you go in
leave
the
a
graveyard
note
then?
for Juve?
Not that I need to tell you what the next options for the next location are. It would have been the castle, the blacksmith, the stables, the inn, the town square, and the graveyard. But considering what you've been doing, I imagine you're going to the graveyard.
Yes.
Okay. So you walk into the graveyard, and as you walk in, you hear someone go,
Hey, Bill! My name is not Bill!
and you just watch as the older man you saw before, covered in like mud, is arguing with Bill, holding a sort of small pouch, offering up to him. What do you want to do?
I say, dirty man, go away. We have business with Bill, and you don't seem very important.
He just turns around, looks at you, and goes,
Bastard outsiders, all of you.
Yes,
sort of trudges off.
Foul-mouthed little potato, go away.
What you doing with Jacob?
Never you mind.
I don't like that.
No,
What you
We're
doing
on a
with
buddy
that?
walk. We're walking. We're on a stroll. We're buddies.
I'm gonna go tell Miss Rosa about this. I don't think she'd like that.
And he sort of
That's
why are you
goes off.
so dirty all the time?
Why are we engaging with him?
Yeah, just let him go. Let him leave.
Just let him go.
Okay. So Bill looks at you, kind of like,
What is this?
This is a
What have you
vampire.
got there? Why have you got him there? How did you get him out of the castle?
We're better than you.
just looks at you and just goes,
You motherfuckers. How did you get him out of there?
The chimney?
You dragged him out through the chimney.
No, we went in through the chimney and then walked out.
Ah, I see.
It's not important, Sir Hunter. He's not a vampire, but we think Jacob probably is.
What? Let me see.
He sort of looks at Jacob and he puts his thumb basically in his mouth and like rips back his lip, and he goes,
No, that's not a vampire.
Do you know why then he's affected by a holy symbol?
and she notices the sort of burn in his face where you had the holy symbol, and he goes,
That's very interesting. It's
I'm gonna start.
definitely unholy of some kind, yes.
I'll undo the front of his robes to where there's like the one that's tied to him.
yeah, it's like blistering on his chest, and he goes,
That's very interesting. He's definitely got some kind of demonic power about him.
Might I suggest you put a bolt through his head whilst he's still unconscious?
Looking at that much, yes, I think he probably needs to be put down.
And he loads his crossbow. And he says,
Lie him on the floor, I will do it point blank.
I mean, I would much rather if we could we perhaps sit him up in front of the crossbow and tie his head to the crossbow so that you can just straight, like...
I can just do it when he's lying on the floor, it's not a problem.
I mean,
Can I?
yeah, okay.
I want to talk to him though.
It would have made for a much better anecdote if we taped him to the front of the crossbow.
Can I wake him up? Like, he's tied, he's weakened, he's probably fine.
yeah, you can try and wake him up if you want. Why you try and wake him up? He goes,
What do you want me to do with
and he kicks Brian's feet.
this one?
He's mine, leave him alone.
So, you've bought him?
Of sorts, yes.
You really are a sick motherfucker, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes. Before we leave, I might need you to get us sign a quick release form, if that's okay.
What, do you think I own him? Fuck that, I'm not getting involved in you.
No, I just
I
would
mean,
like to write some
if I want a
anecdotes
girl
about
in my bed, I go pay for her. I don't, kidnap one from a neighboring town and chain him up. But whatever does you,
Right. So I'm wake up Jacob.
Okay. You wake up Jacob. At this point, it's getting into, let's say early evening, nighttime. So you wake up Jacob, who's very slurry, just like, what happens? Where are you?
What?
Where am I?
What are you?
Where am I? He's like very, very drowsy. And Wilfred leans over and goes,
Can I just kill him now, or do you want to actually ask him anything?
I want to know what he is.
I mean, I think you should point the crossbow at his skull.
Yeah, do that. I'm gonna kind of like press in on the holy symbol to kind of use that pain to wake him up.
you hear a kind of like, again, a sort of sizzling sound, and he goes,
What do you want?
What are you?
What do you mean?
You're not human. What are you?
Crossbow man, I believe we might need your help.
It's time.
Do you want me to kill him?
Yes, please.
No. What are you? I kind of like, get on top of him.
at this
and
point,
press
he's
into-
just giggling incessantly. It's like, he's looking over at Brian and then just keeps giggling at you and says, It's time. It's time.
Yeah, no, I guess kill him.
Yep.
Okay. Wilfred walks over, puts a bolt through his face, kills him stone dead. Brian
gonna
is still unconscious.
decapitate
Brian is
him.
not woken back up yet.
Can I cut his head off, just in case?
You can cut his head off, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll get my
Would
sickle
anyone be
out.
upset if I was to ask for the head when you're finished?
Yes.
As an anecdote for my book, of course.
No.
What about his body then?
So after he died, Brian still hasn't got up, or
Brian's still unconscious. There's
I-
a
can
massive
we-
lump in front of Brian's face from when he ran into the door.
Did we ever double check to see if the holy symbol did anything to Brian?
Mm,
I think so, didn't we?
Put
I
the
guess-
holy symbol?
put the holy symbol on Brian.
You put the holy symbol on Brian, doesn't do anything.
Okay. Just want to double check there.
I guess wake him up, use slapping and or something.
Nothing says chronic head injury like slapping them to the face to wake them up.
That's how we do it here in America.
Have you chopped his head off, by the way, now?
The vampire, or Jacob, yeah, not
Yeah.
not
Okay.
Brian.
Wait a
So,
second. Was Jacob a
you-
werewolf?
You slap Brian across the head a few times, and Brian kind of like eventually come very kind of like, where am I? Where am I?
Graveyard.
What? He just looks at Wilfred and screams. Just continually screams, like really loud, blood-curdling screams.
I'm gonna force his head to the side to show him the decapitated body of Jacob.
Ian just keeps screaming over and over and over and over again, and Wilfred's just standing there going,
You sure you want to keep him alive? I mean, it'd be a lot easier to transport dead. I mean, looking at you, you wouldn't really care either way about what you're probably going to do to him.
I believe he has a point, chaps.
Yeah, like I mean, he does.
No. There's no reason to kill him.
At this point, you see a couple of the townsfolk coming out of the inn, like all running towards the graveyard, And you see them also kind of going, what's going on here? What are you doing to Jacob? What are you doing to that man?
It's unfortunate.
Bill killed Jacob. It's a shocking crime. I believe you should take it up with him.
What? You asked me to kill him. I mean, look at him. He's obviously demonic.
We came here to stop you killing him, and you put a crossbow through his head.
Hey, don't you take it from me. He's wearing your manacles.
I'm going to slap Endolphus. Show some backbone.
At this point, it's getting into sort of early morning, and the villagers are approaching with torches, all looking like a very angry mob about to lynch you. And you hear the ground rumble beneath your feet.
Well, this is always a good sign.
I think now's the time to get on that crossbow and start taking out the town one by one.
Just real quick, I'm gonna slit Brian's throat while I'm on.
Brian starts shouting, It's time! The dreams are coming! The dreams are coming! As you
Kill
slit his
Brian.
throat.
Kill Brian, quick. And can I get on the crossbow or can someone, not me, because I don't want to get my hands dirty, but I would really appreciate it if someone could get on that crossbow now and start shooting at these people coming up that look like they might be a bit upset with us.
You can try and grab Bo's crossbow if you want. Roll.
Who's doing it? Because I can't do it. I'm not getting my hands dirty.
I sigh and throw like some fire from my staff in front of the oncoming villagers. Not at them, but like in front of where they're coming.
How did this all happen?
The ground
Right, that's
continues
close
to
enough.
rumble, and then there's a sort of tearing sound, and as you look, the castle splits in two, and this gigantic creature with like hundreds and hundreds of eyes, this sort of frog-like creature, just rises up several hundred stories high, blocking out the sun as it's rising, and looking down upon the rest of you as everything just goes black. You did not save the world.
Oh no.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Are you telling me that just killing random people is not the way to win?
So, you did not save the world, but folk can come listen to your podcast. So, tell us about who you are, what you do, and where people can find you. On you go.
Oh, that was an abrupt end. I guess if you want to listen to more of us kind of
Not saving
randomly-
the world.
Yeah.
That's a common theme throughout most of our shows that we don't say.
Yeah.
We
Pretty
do
much.
actively make things worse most of the time.
Not saving the world and killing random people, you can go to doordicepodcast.com or at doordice on any social media to join our community servers for our episodes. We do right now bi-weekly episodes, about an hour long, and it's a narrative 5th edition actual play podcast. We do monthly dice giveaways through our dice sponsor Easy Roller, and we have a lot of fun. So if this was any good entertainment, I guess, because we kind of failed.
It's definitely
you
different
wanna-
from everyone else we've had so far, I'll give you that.
Is it a good way or a bad way?
I'll tell you that after we've done recording.
Okay. But yeah, that's a general theme of our games is arguing, killing, and then failing. So
My
come-
character's so evil that the DM took him away from me.
Yeah, that happens quite frequently. So come check us out. We'd really appreciate it.
So, all needs to be done is just to say thank you once more to my guests tonight. So, thank you everyone, and good night.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
It was a ball.
Good night.
Thank you for listening to this episode of our 2019 Open the Dungeon Halloween series. The story was written by Nikolai Pupsky and Artie McNeil, with all music by Daniel Boström. If you would like to be involved in future Halloween recordings, please send us a message at Penance RPG. This year's episodes are also a part of the All the Horror 2019 collaboration. Check out #AllTheHorror on social media for more gruesome goodies. If you would like to support Penance RPG in future projects, or just think you'd love to have our Halloween logo on a shirt from our recently opened Teespring, links can be found in the description. Until next time, good night out there, whatever you are.